is Michaela Rena with Tarot, the Witch's Tradition. Thank you for joining our discussion, December 16th, 2020, Wednesday. We're going to go ahead and get right into this. The card set that I'm using today is a Hungarian Tarot, which is really cool. And there are additional complementary discussion pamphlets about the Hungarian Tarot, as well as a very well thought out and expressed booklet about this particular tarot deck and the psychology of Carl Jung. Well, we'll go ahead and get right into this. Today's tarot, I'm pulling from this card. Oh, we have a Two of Cups reversed. There you go. I'll put that right there. The second card I'm going to pull is the Four of Pentacles. I'll put that right there. And the next card I'm going to pull is the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords. Well, that is really interesting. And then we'll go ahead and see what is actually blocking us from being able to make progress with this particular card spread. Well, the Two of Cups, so interesting. This is definitely denoting reversed. So it's in the reverse. I'm going to share it with you this way. Whenever we see the two, sometimes it can definitely be a meeting of the mind. It can definitely be connected to relationship and communication. And we might see this in various aspects of our health or communication in our education, communication with another person. And in this case, our next card is the indicator as to what this communication is about. However, what I will say is that there is no more struggle in regards to the communication. If you notice here, it's a release. So in this case, there's the aspect of having to be right is no longer a concern. Like, it's not about who's right and who's wrong, and there isn't any duality in having to be the one on top of the other. Both persons or both aspects of communication are truly willing to acquiesce for a greater cause, and that is to keep the emotional stuff relatively without stress, right? We got to get rid of the excess baggage, the excess stress, the excess over communication. That's really important. So what I will say, it's about being succinct in our communication. Well, what is that about? In this case, it is about the Pentacles, which is everything mundane, everything about the household. So this would be literally about letting go of having to be the one that has to have everything your way. It has to only be one way for it to be right. This is what this reversed cups is really focusing in on. Like, you've got to be able to release and let go of all the toxicity in your communication with relationships with people in order for you to be able to have stability. Now, the Four of Pentacles is really interesting because the Four of Pentacles doesn't either go backwards or forwards. It's just there. And it's sometimes it's better to be there so that you can observe and see where you stand at, see if you're standing on solid ground, than to be caught up in a lot of emotional communication and you still don't know where you stand. So it's best to back up and allow that to occur. Now, what I really like about this next card, it is the Eight. Let me just get that right there. The Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is really interesting. This is definitely different people's thoughts, different ideas, different thinking. However, it requires that a person really pays attention to their inner voice and also their intuition, definitely, and allow themselves to be able to move based on a new understanding, because circumstances have definitely changed. And so in this case, it's not necessarily bad or good because we have this Four of Pentacles right there. It's not bad or good. However, this is requiring a person to release trying to control everything and then being allowed to see exactly where it is that they have sure footing, which is really interesting. It also requires to level up. If you notice that the swords are upward in this case, level up in the thinking. And then if you notice that the point, it's not pointing downward, which I find very interesting in this particular set of cards, that the handle in is literally downward. So this is not necessarily an aspect of being on guard, but it could allow you to know that you need to be proactive in being creative, and also discernment, which is very interesting. And it's the number 8, which I think is also connected to karma. It's also about household. It's about stability, and that it's not self-arrived. So in this case, trying to control everything means that you have to do it yourself. And in this case, if you notice, there is definitely partnership here, partnership and communication here in the Two of Cups, partnership in building a solid foundation in your mundane affairs or in your household affairs. And so this 8 definitely, if you notice, it just becomes gradual, which I find even more interesting, is that the ability to level up and not do it yourself, and then literally work with, let's just say, a partner, support, so that the best results can be created and expressed here. Now, what keeps us from being able to move forward in that? And the card that I'm going to pull for that one is, the Death card. What keeps us from moving forward is the unwillingness to change and let it go. Isn't that interesting? Well, I am so glad that you took a moment to share in this card read today. You can definitely reach me at michaela-rena.com, and go ahead, subscribe, so that you can get notifications of our next tarot session here online, The Witch's Tradition. I'll see you next time. Ashe.